Hello, and welcome to the Thyroid Warrior podcast. I'm Ebony, and I'm here as your wellness facilitator. I'm going to be sharing my experiences in managing Hashimoto's disease. I really hope that it'll help you on your personal journey. Keep in mind, however, this does not substitute for medical advice. It is only for your information and motivational purposes only. Now, let's get started. So in the last podcast episode, we were talking to Kristen Osborne about allergies, and I have learned how important it is to really and truly work through those things and identify the foods that you can have, what you can't, and really just think about what your new normal is going to be. In previous podcast episodes, I talked about food and how I was able to work through getting my gut health together and really and truly learning what I could and could not have and sticking to it. And even recently, I think that I'm kind of grown in that I can eat whatever I want. I'm very, very, very mistaken about that. As a matter of fact, full disclosure, I did have Chick-fil-A the other day and I did regret it because it upset my stomach. And then next thing I know, all of the sodium, all the sugar, all the things, plus stress sent me into a very bad bout of vertigo. So I learned my lesson very quickly. So if you're like me, you're definitely ready to live a happy, healthy, and joy-filled life. However, sometimes it takes getting into a routine. And I'm starting to think about this as we go into the back to school season time. And while I love seeing all of the kids and the pictures and everyone's excited because they get to have that routine, it kind of sends me into a slight panic. And here's why. I definitely think about this a lot because I have an autoimmune disease. So I'm thinking, okay, that's great. The pictures are beautiful, but those kids are going to go to school. They're going to be introduced to new things, which means their parents are going to be introduced to new things, which means people are going to come to work. They're going to be sick. They're not going to want to take those work from home days or that sick time, which is going to expose me. And you may be thinking, girl, that is a lot. Why would you think about it that way? But unfortunately, that's my reality because it happens time and time again. And I am very surprised as to how quickly things spread in an office space. I shouldn't be because I know better, but I am. So once one person comes in sick, then they get their entire team sick, which means it just travels. Again, another thing that surprises me, people don't practice good hand hygiene as much as you think they do. And working in a healthcare setting, I definitely see that firsthand all the time. So that is a big reason why I have to think about it, as I'm sure you all do. So for me, that means that I have to get my arsenal ready. So I look at the foods that I can and can't have. I also think about, all right, based upon the season that we're in, what foods can I have that are going to definitely be immune boosting foods, as well as thyroid enhancing foods. So I look at that, I write those things down, and I really start to look up recipes for those things. And this is partially why I'm slightly addicted to Pinterest, because it's very easy to just go on and type in a couple of keywords and really and truly make magic happen if I'm being very whimsical about it. But that is why I have all of the different food boards on Pinterest, because it has really made food fun for me. In addition to that, I also have to get my routine together. So I have to look at, all right, flu season is coming. And you may be thinking, well, it's not that time. But for me, from a healthcare perspective, we have to start that process early. And regardless of whether or not you get a flu shot or not, I choose to do that and it definitely has helped. But I choose to get a flu shot every year. And I know that there are a lot of people that are against it. However, for me personally, they have benefited me. And considering what I come into contact with on a day-to-day basis, every type of prevention is going to suffice for me. Now, in addition to getting my flu shot, I also make sure that I have my echinacea, I have golden seal, I have chamomile and green tea on hand all the time, because I will either mix those things together, get a tea bag with those things, or I just really and truly like to end my day with a cup of tea. So if I choose to have my tea at night, I definitely want to make sure I don't have caffeine in it, but I also want to get that antioxidant punch while I'm at it. So I am making sure that I understand what foods I can have. I then go back and say, all right, I'm getting my flu shot. I'm looking at the foods that are in season during the back to school time. I am practicing good hand hygiene. I always do, but I'm extra vigilant during the beginning of the school year. And then I also have to think about the change in the seasons. So what allergies are going to kind of crop up for me? Sometimes I'm usually fine, but ever so often there's something funky around this time, and I'm not sure if it's because the leaves are dropping and the pollen and everything is kind of like just spreading. But around August, September, I tend to have a mild allergy flare up. So I'm making sure that I'm keeping my allergies in check, that I'm dusting everything and keeping everything clean. But lastly, because I also know that the seasons are changing, I'm also ensuring that I have my vitamin D supplements together, because I significantly dip in my vitamin D levels September through October, because naturally I'm outside a lot and I don't have as much exposure to the sun, but also because I want to make sure that I am getting the vitamin D and everything else, because I get seasonal depression too, if I'm being very honest. So it's not always fun because it's snowing and the sun's not out and it's just not as fun. So I want to make sure that I am doing everything in my power to be prepared. So I wanted to share those things with you all today because it's just important. And I know that you guys are phenomenal and you're rock stars and you're making sure that everyone around you, that they're getting what they need, but I want to make sure that you're prepared as well. So with that, just a few announcements. JoyfulEbony.com is almost done and ready to go for you. My thyroid guide is available and it has additional things in there for you. And you can pick that up at bit.ly.com/thyroid warrior. And I am now a certified personal trainer. And a big reason why I wanted to really do that was because I get a lot of questions from you guys about weight loss and your thyroid levels being off, and you've picked up a lot of weight and how do you do it? And personally, I have gone through a lot of this and I really wanted to be able to give back in yet another way. So more information will be coming out on that soon, and I will definitely be sharing that story with you guys because it was definitely a long time coming. I have been wanting to get my personal training certification for 10 years, but I got sick. So I will be sharing that story with you guys in another episode. But for right now, I want you guys to really write those things down and focus on how you are going to get prepared. And with that, be happy, be whole, and be well. Take care. Okay, thyroid warriors. Get out there and take things one step at a time. Remember, be great, reflect on your triumphs, and as always, be well. Take care.